Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art Journal Sunday Prompts. It isn't Sunday, and I apologize. We had a crazy weekend, and this will happen more times than not, but that's the title of my show. And I am working in that wonderful journal I got from Deb, Artsology, and I just spritzed this page with some water because I have never, ever really played with real, watercolors. So I'm going to give this a try and see what happens. And I hope it works out. And speaking of hope, that is exactly what my page is about today, is about hope. Things have been so dark and so sad in the news of late. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I take these news stories so to heart. I can't even watch them. If I see one more video taping about somebody being shot by the police, I don't know what I'll do. I can't watch them. It breaks my heart. It just breaks my heart. I'm someone who believes you are innocent until proven guilty, but that's a whole nother video. And then coupled with that is what's going on in Iran and Iraq and over there. And there's so much strife and troubles going on in the world. And that poor man that was beheaded. And it just, I don't know. I'm quite an empath and I can feel all of that. And I think the only thing we have left for us as human beings is hope. I really do. I believe the only thing that's going to get us through all of this is to keep hoping that everything is going well. And then, I was contemplating a lot about when Robin Williams committed suicide and ended his life and ended his pain and ended his struggle. And I felt so bad for him, thinking he was in so much pain, but yet he didn't share that and nobody could help him. And anybody that's had any kind of illness, particularly a chronic illness, knows that along with that chronic illness often comes depression. And there are certain days that you just think, just be so much better if I wasn't here, because I'm putting so much, at least that's what I used to think, I'm putting so much stress on everybody else by being here. What have I got to give to the world other than being a literal pain? And so you can relate, but I had the wherewithal to tell that to my doctor. And he said when people are suffering from pain or emotional pain, pain is pain, right? The serotonins are not firing in the brain properly. And it's not the person's fault. They don't have anything to be ashamed of. That's just the way it is, and you need a little help. And that's what makes me sad about Robin Williams. I just wish that he had somebody that he could have talked to. And anybody out there that's going through that kind of darkness, despair, sadness, if you have nobody else to talk to, you can talk to me. What used to get me through my darkest days, that I'm happy to say are behind me, is this quote that I heard. And it totally, there's many things that got me through, but this particular quote really did. And it is a Latin quote. And in Latin it says, Dum, D-U-M, Spiro, S-P-I-R-O, Spero. And what it means is, while I breathe, I hope. And I can remember sitting in emergency rooms many times with Richard, with Teresa, with anybody that would take me there, and I would have my eyes closed trying to cope with that horrible, horrible pain. And over again, I would be saying that, Dum Spiro, Spero, Dum Spiro, Spero, over and over and over again. So I have never done a page on that saying. I always thought I might want to get a tattoo, but my age, the old-fashioned part of me struggles with the part of me that thinks I'm cool with regards to getting a tattoo. But if I ever got a tattoo, that's what it would be. Because I really want to get one, but I think I'm too old. But then I guess you're never too old for anything, right? Do what you want, right, people? So there's my kind of watercolory stuff. I love this. It makes such a pretty background. It's just so delicate. I'm blotting mine with paper towels just because it's just a little too wet. And I don't want it to seep into the other pages. But wow, I love how that looks. So I'm just going to dry this with my heat gun, and I shall be back. I will zoom in for those that want to see a little bit closer so you can see the colors. See how pretty? So for this next step, I found this image online, and if I ever were to get a tattoo, this is exactly how I would want it to be. And you can see it says Spero. And I want to transfer exactly that onto my watercolor page. So what you do is you turn the page upside down. I'm going to cut out the wings because I don't really want them right now. So I've got my wording right here. I think that's a piece of a wing. Get rid of that. There. So I've got my words, Doom, Spiro, Spero. So I'll turn this over. This is just scratch paper. Take a very soft graphite pencil, or this one is charcoal pencil, and it is really soft because you want it to be able to transfer. So what you simply do is just color in the whole back of this piece of paper. So you can see I've got that all colored in. So what I'm going to do on my paper is I'm going to, when it's dry, I'm going to lay it down like that. And you can either, here I'll move it so you can see. I'll put it like that. And you can either take a pencil or a stylus or any sharp point. I'm just going to use a pencil right here. And you just go and trace over what you just charcoaled on the back. Like so. This little tip is one Richard taught me when he's seen me many times trying to transfer letters. So you can, I'll just do the whole D so you can see that D. There, can you see that? There's our D transferred. Such an easy method and saves so much time. And these smudges up here are from me just rubbing my hands on there. It isn't from this image. And then you can go in and just erase it and then go in and black pen and outline it later. So I thought that was a coolio tip. You can see how it looks with just the graphite tracing. Now I'm going to take one of my pit pins. The point is different. We don't want the brush point because they bleed. We want the fine point that looks like a pen. So now I'm going to trace all of that with this pit pen. These pens are also waterproof, so that's what's great about them. It's like India ink, kind of. I had the wrong setting on my camera, but there, now you can see it really clearly. That's after I used the pit pen, this one. The one, not the brush one, the fine one. So when you're buying them, be really careful because they look exactly the same, Faber-Castell. So look on the lids. This is the brush tip, and this is the fine tip with the F, okay? And that's what I did, and then I went through and carefully erased all of the, you can see the charcoal there, and it looks like I did my own hand lettering. Well, I kind of did, but I didn't, you know what I mean? But that's a great way for tracing on an already existing background that you can't really trace this. It's quite thick, and there's work on the other side. And so just rub the graphite on the back, lay it down, and trace over it with a pencil. So now I am going to shade in. As you can see, this is how it was originally. So where the shaded areas, I'm going to do 2 different shades of blue, but they look very in the same family. So I'm going to use the sky blue one for the lighter shading, and the other one is cobalt blue for the dark. And while I've been doing this, I have been listening to some beautiful, beautiful gospel music. And if you aren't someone that listens, oh, I hope this doesn't wreck it, listens to African-American black gospel music, and you need some uplifting and some hope, I'm telling you, there is nothing better. Smokey Norfolk is just the most amazing singer in the world. And he talks about hope in a way, you know, that like, it just puts it into sort of a more modern meaning for us. Because there is so much despair in the world right now. And even on an individual basis. I mean, how can we correct world strife when even internally we're at war with ourselves? And I think the first step is to have hope. And then once you've got hope, you reach out and you ask for someone to help you. Ask for help. There's no shame in being depressed. There's no shame in having severe anxiety. There's no shame in anything. There's nothing wrong with you. God does not make junk, okay? There's nothing wrong with you. So while you breathe, you keep having hope. As long as you can do, you still have some hope. So I'm going to do this off camera so I can really put my head down and see closely, because I don't want the edges to bleed. So you can see the subtle shading of the light blue within the dark blue, but it looks really nice. I love the way that turned out. Doom Spiro, Spero. So now I'm going to take my Sizzix angel wings, much the same as they had them in the image, and I'm going to cut them out and place them on either side of this lettering. So here are the Sizzix wings. I just cut them out of a box I had sitting around. And I always make sure, you know, you do the reverse so you can get them going. And they're going to sit here. But first I'm going to distress them up a little bit. Like I want to take off maybe one of the layers or something and just peel some of it back. And then I'm going to paint them with gesso. And yeah, play around with them so they have a little bit more interest to them. So you can see where I just peeled off. I just simply tried to find the first layer here, and just, I don't want it to be a perfect, completely clean. I want some of the top to stay on it there. So I got that, and then I'll probably do another little piece from the end. And then I'm going to just give them a little coat of white gesso, and then maybe add a little bit of blue on them to pick up the blue in the lettering there. So I have my wings all done. If you can see here what I did, I added some Perlin pen. It's sort of a transparent perlerized pen. And then I did some of that Wink of Stella brush just to add a little bit of glittery. So they're going to go there and there. And then on the top part here, I made this banner just out of a piece of computer paper. I'm going to distress it up. As I did the wings, I used gathered twig distress ink. I'm just going to brush it on a little bit. And I did that on my wings as well. And then on this piece of paper, I am going to put the translation of Dum Spiro Spero, and it means while I breathe, I hope. And before I do any of this, I'm going to try out my drawing gum. I don't know if anybody's ever used this before, but I'll tell you what it is. You use this stuff and you lay it on, it's a mask. So when you're watercoloring or doing anything like that, you take a paintbrush and you just paint this on top of anything you don't want to be disturbed. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't wreck my image. I don't think so. It doesn't seem to be. And you paint this on top and then we'll let it dry. I just want it on that part. And then I'm going to take some I call it my drip paints because I have them in little bottles. Here's black, and I have white, I have gray, and I have brown. So, because those are the most neutral colors that I would do drips with. And I'm just going to sprinkle some spots. It's not really drips, I want to put some spray. What do you call it, you guys? My mouth, I can't even talk. I just want to sprinkle some dots around, but I don't want it to get on my lettering. So you make sure all of this lettering is covered, and it'll harden. And then I will be back when it's hardened. So this is called drawing gum. This was $5.99. It's very easy to find. I found this when we were on Salt Spring Island in the home hardware store. So you can, it's an art supply product. So you can see that my drawing gum is all dry. Feels like vinyl or something coating on top. So now I can safely take my white paint. I want to do splatters. That's the word I was looking for. And what I've done with these bottles, I don't even know what was originally in them, but I have 4 of them. And like I keep them already ready mixed. So it's basically part water, part acrylic paint. And so when I want to make splatters, it's already ready. All I have to do is shake it up a little bit. And so I'm using the white. And I am going to make some splatters on this page in white. So now my splatters are all dry. I'm just going to roll off my gum. So here is my finished page. In the middle it says Spiro, Spero. Stamped while I breathe, I hope. In the on the dots on the eyes, I just added some blingy, some brads, and a little glitter, and another brad there to pick up the colors in the page. I rubbed some excess blue paint that was left over from my wings up here, and then I took some blue stickles and rubbed them in, and the banner that I made is distressed with gathered twigs. And then if you'll notice all of the little white dots, I brushed them with Wink of Stella, so I'm not sure if it picks up on here or not. Let me see if you can see the glitteriness or not, but anyway, it is there. You can see the words, because I used a drawing gum, do not have one splatter on them, and that's what I wanted. And then I went back in with the Wink of Stella pen and accented some of the letters and highlighted them. I just felt the page needed a little bit more of a kick. And there are my wings, to which I added some of that blue stickles. And they're all grunged up, and they've been distressed also with distress ink. And the rest of the page I did a date stamp, and the rest of the page is all done, and I distressed all around the edges with Gathered Twigs Distress ink. So this page speaks to the sun will come up tomorrow, no matter how dark your day is, how much in despair you are, how sad you are, how much physical pain you're in, emotional pain, the sun will come up tomorrow. Go and ask for help. Talk to somebody. Talk to a friend. Just don't give up. Don't quit. We're not built to fail. We are meant to survive. Humans have the natural instinct for survival. And with that comes hope. So as long as you are breathing, you have hope. So if you can't talk to a friend, or you don't have anybody, and it's so funny because sometimes some people think whatever it is their story is, I couldn't possibly tell anyone. I'm so ashamed of myself. I no one would. I don't think there is anything personally at my age in my lifetime that anybody could shock me with. Absolutely nothing, nor would I ever be ashamed. So if I feel that way, there's several people out there that feel that way. So just make sure you find someone to talk to. Talk to your family doctor. But as long as you're breathing, you have hope. Just keep saying it over and over again. While I breathe, I hope. Doom Spiro, Spero. For me, if it hadn't been for you guys out there during some of my worst pain, I don't know where I would be. I don't know. Because if I didn't have the wonderful feedback that I get from the comments from you, sometimes I would read them on the days that I just felt horrible physically. And it just lightens your day. It really, really, really does. So I'm going to take this moment to thank you again for that, because you got me through some hard times. So while I breathe, I hope. Doom Spiro, Spero. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys all next week. Bye-bye.